The Howard living room had become a graveyard of ambition. George sat hunched over his laptop, the cold blue light carving deep shadows into his face as he stared at a stack of overdue bills. Across the room, Vernestein pressed her palms into her temples, eyes shut tight against the weight of the world. Jorsana sighed loudly, lost in her phone, while Taylor sat motionless in the corner, staring at the floorboards. The air was thick and heavy, filled with the silence of people who had forgotten how to speak to one another. Every breath felt like a burden in a house where dreams had gone to die. Suddenly, the silence was broken. George pushed his chair back, the sharp screech of metal against wood cutting through the tension. He reached for a leather-bound journal on the coffee table, titled The Life Multiplier Blueprint. As he flipped it open, Vernestein leaned in, her eyes scanning the pages with a flicker of hope. As they read together, the harsh overhead light seemed to soften, and the shadows began to retreat. George opened a new browser tab, his fingers flying across the keys as he navigated a new online income module. He turned to Vernestein with a grin, and they shared a sharp, rhythmic high five. The shift was immediate and electric. Vernestein moved to the kitchen with new purpose, clearing away processed snacks to make room for fresh greens. She swallowed a supplement and laced up her sneakers, stepping into the backyard with Jorlila. They jogged in circles, the rhythm of their feet matching the beating of their hearts until they collapsed into laughter on the grass. Inside, Jorsana stood before the mirror, facing her reflection. She took a scrap of paper marked, "I am not good enough," shredded it into tiny pieces, and watched them fall into the bin. She picked up a pen and wrote, "I am capable," on a fresh sheet, her handwriting bold and sure. She then walked over and wrapped her arms around Vernestein in a long overdue embrace. Even Taylor, watching from the doorway, felt the change. A small, genuine smile finally touched his lips as he watched his family come back to life. They were no longer just surviving. They were evolving into the best versions of themselves, shedding the old skin of doubt and replacing it with the armor of action. That evening, the family gathered at the table, but the atmosphere was entirely different. George and Vernestein sat close, their fingers interlaced as they spoke in low, steady tones about their future. Jorlila laid out a sheet of paper, drawing stick figures of the family, carefully connecting each hand to the next. Taylor joined them at the table, placing his hand in the center of the circle, a silent pledge of solidarity. They bowed their heads in unison, a family reunited by a shared vision. The sunlight filtered through the window, illuminating the dust motes dancing like tiny stars above their joined hands. The house was no longer a place of isolation, but a hub of vibrant activity. George began mentoring a stranger online, sharing his success. Vernestein led a neighbor through a stretching routine in the yard, and Jorsana recorded a video message to inspire a friend. They were no longer waiting for a miracle to save them. They were building a life, one pillar at a time. The Howard family had finally found their rhythm, moving forward together with strength, purpose, and an unbreakable bond. The graveyard was gone, replaced by a legacy in the making.